With Facebook ad costs skyrocketing over the last year, this brand used referral marketing and created partnerships to generate revenue that is projected to be over $100 million in the next year. This is Athletic Greens.
Let's go. What's up, everyone? Sean Azari here with Matt SKOPAK.
What's going on, everyone?
Welcome to Deep Dive episode 52, where we dive into businesses like Athletic Greens and dive into their marketing and business strategies such that you can take these tactics and implement them into your business. Founded in 2009 by, I believe, Chris. I can't pronounce his last name. It's a Chris.
By Chris. That's it.
It actually caught my attention. I seen one of their ads was targeted to me, and it was my friend Natalie, who was actually, she did a campaign for Reborn, one of my brands, and it really caught my attention. And then I asked about it, and then I seen it all over. I seen podcasters talk about it and so forth. So the brand itself, it has about 75 nutrients, I believe.
Yeah, 75 nutrients.
Packed in a green powder, and you're probably thinking this already exists. Yes, but the branding aspect, like green juices and all that, this has it all, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like an all-in-one like supplement, like not just worrying about, they like to say like what your body looks like on the outside, but this is supposed to be the best nutrient. I think they call it like a green powder, whatnot, for like the healthiest all-in-one drink, like a multivitamin for your body.
I haven't tried it yet, but I may try it. I actually saw while researching someone saying they actually replaced it. They replaced coffee with that, and it got them more energized throughout the day because, coffee makes you jittery and so forth. This helps you gets you energized, but you feel better. So I may have to try it out.
So they spent a lot of time really formulating this drink, and that's part of their branding to really create authenticity and like proof of concept. They've said that they've created they've took 10 years to create this perfect formula of these 75 ingredients. So they use that a lot through like who they are as a company and like what this drink is really meant for and like the scientific benefits of it.
Yeah, Matt, today's November 11th, 2021. Just want to mark that for our listeners. Ads are skyrocketing. The cost of ads is ridiculous. Yeah. They spend a lot of money on ads still, but they use, as the title of the podcast, the power of the people to build a brand. So, as a starting business, it's very hard. A barrier of entry is very hard. But using these tactics that we're about to get into is going to really help you build your business in today's market.
Yep.
So
it's not about the cost either, too. Like the CPMs, the cost per impression are super high. But it's not only that. Like for my businesses, and even trying to put an ad on Facebook, they are regulating everything, first of all. Like, it's very, very, very frustrating. Put an ad up, it gets disabled. You don't know why it got disabled. You're trying to figure out, like, what did I do wrong? And then
it's not the same anymore.
There's no answer. It takes 3 weeks, 4 weeks to even try to figure out, like, if it got reapproved, if not, like, and the algorithm, I mean, they're still good, but still their targeting is not what it was from the beginning. So you have to diversify your marketing channels, and Athletic Greens has done a good job in doing that.
All right, I'm going to start with number one.
Let's do it.
The power of audio marketing. These guys sponsor podcasters to talk about their product. So, it's like, don't think of it like radio advertising because people tune out. When people tune into a podcast, they're really dedicated to listening to that podcaster. So whoever the sponsor is, they're listening. They're going to remember. And apparently research, I saw an article, 70% of the people that listen 70% end up purchasing it, the product, 70% of the listeners after listening to a podcast that's being sponsored through the brand. So the numbers are very high, and Athletic Greens sponsors big players, and they're too expensive for you, but some of them are Joe Rogan, which is the OG, Tim Ferriss, a few doctors I've seen, I don't remember the name. They sponsor a lot of podcasters. So what can you do? You could still look for smaller creators, smaller podcasts that can get your name out there that have your audience.
Yeah, align with your
Customer brand,
base.
and it's still like you're getting your name out there, and you can leverage that content, that even audio piece, and then repurpose it into your social platforms, however you want to do it. So
and then you could put featured on this podcast to prove, like, give proof of concept and things like that, which always help with marketing and credibility.
yeah, and actually because they saw such a great impact, that the results are so high from other podcasters, they created their own podcast. And I forgot what it's called. I put it down here. Actually,
But you can remember it. I'll jump on to number 2.
Yeah.
Offer a travel size pouch in addition to your regular size. So something cool that Athletic Greens does, there's not many options. It's one product. It's their green formula. I think they call it a nutritional powder. But what they do is they offer it in a pouch, and then you can also subscribe to it for a further discount, which, you know, we love subscriptions. And then from there, you can actually order the box in travel sizes. Like a travel size pouch. I think it's 30 units together. I really like that, just because some people just like the convenience of having them on it, or going on vacation, or just keeping some in their car. So I think this is something smart that in business you don't think of every idea. Sometimes it takes others to really think, oh, that's a good idea. If you have a business and you have a larger quantity, or people sometimes just want to try things and like maybe have a 5-pack of the travel pack. Those are all good things to introduce people to your brand at a lower price point. That would also help convert just people, because I think it's like $70 or $70 if you subscribe, or $90 if you just buy it one off. It's an expensive purchase. Yeah. Maybe offering a travel size or 5 of them. That's a good way to introduce people into the brand without actually spending that much money.
But that's for people that purchase the product, right? They offer travel size.
It's both. They have the option to purchase a 30-pack of the travel pouches, but they also use it for promotion that we'll talk about shortly too.
Wait, actually, you said offer travel size. So they actually
So they offer a bag. So imagine a bag of like protein powder that comes in, say, 2 pounds. And then they also offer a box of travel pouches. Maybe there's 4 ounces of the powder in each pouch, and there's 30 units in the box.
So I guess, Matt, the best way to think about it for other brands, right? I love that strategy, because you're basically taking a subset of your brand and making it more affordable.
You're making it more affordable. You're making it convenience. You're putting it into a package that they can actually bring into different places, into their gym bag, bring it to work. Because sometimes it's annoying having that container. You're not going to carry the pouch around. And if you've dealt with protein powders, pre-workouts, trying to get that powder into the bottle when you really need to is basically impossible.
So I think it's also,
but I like that method. That one recommendation is they should probably offer the traveler pack and maybe a 5-pack. So people that are coming there that don't want to spend $90, you can introduce them to the brand and convert at a higher rate.
So if there's any way, if it's not a food product or a powder product, if there's a way to get your brand in the customer's hand, make your product a little bit cheaper. So it's almost like you could upsell them later on with a bigger product, so that you could think of it in another scenario, not just travel packs.
Yep. That's why people love combo packs too, because you can introduce basically multiple products into the customer. Maybe they'll like one of them and then they'll order again. All
right. Number 3, create a touch point with your customer so they feel that they're close to the brand.
What's a touch point?
So a touch point is almost like they feel like they're part of your community, or they feel like they're resident, or they're communicating with someone, a person, rather than just like just a company as a whole.
Give me an example. How do they do it?
They personalize. So I think I remember the CEO, I was listening to one of their podcasts, or someone's podcast, where the CEO was saying, well, they actually have a Facebook group called, I think, the Greens Team. I have it up here, the Greens Team, where they're just communicating with their community, putting inspiring tips. I believe I was actually joined the community to see. You actually get, if you're watching us on YouTube, I'll put the screenshot of what the group is about. So they have about 20,000 members, so very engaged, I would assume. So they're building up that community. But another point that you could actually do, just to be engaged with the community, is even just putting a handwritten letter after someone purchases the product. But also today, well, this has been around for a while. Matt and I were just speaking about it. I've been learning about this whole Discord thing. I don't know if some of you guys heard it. And I'm seeing the power of Discord. And building a community there, how it's going to be powerful in the next few years.
So let's just step back and explain to you what Discord is. Try to explain it because it's kind of complex. It's very big in the cryptocurrency world, especially blockchain world and the NFT world. It's basically, I think everyone's familiar with maybe Slack. So it's like a Slack in terms of chat rooms, and there's different groups for, say, if we had a business, if we had this podcast, we would have a projects, upcoming projects. We would have next year projects. We'd have onboarding of speakers and things like that. So every group would have a separate section. So if me and Sean wanted to talk about or upload things into like our people we want to talk on the podcast next year, we would go in that folder, we would talk about there, we would put people in there, and then it would go from there. So Discord's similar to that, right?
Discord allows you to segment your channels, basically sections and channels. So people, it's like a gold rush right now to build a community. You see Tom Billio doing it. You see Gary Vaynerchuk doing it. Tons of NFT projects. I haven't seen many e-commerce brands, or if any, and this is where I'm predicting here, the internet, because I've just been playing around with it.
Wow,
we've been talking
his
about
first prediction ever, I think.
We've been talking about the Facebook groups, but Facebook groups,
episodes.
we in Facebook groups, things get lost, communication gets lost, right?
Why does it get lost? Why is Discord better than the Facebook
You
group?
could
Why?
segment the channels into certain topics, but then the power of building, you could give more value. So let's say you could set up a feed.
It organizes everything better, but the reason why if it's better than Facebook is Facebook gets lost in the feed, because basically if it's
just posts.
It's posts and it goes down and it just disappears into the Facebook.
Yep, and also
chronological death hole.
As the server host, you could build up such that like you set up feeds into certain channels that people are interested in, kind of like subscribe to, right? That are like, so you're continuously educating your audience, and the power of just the marketing aspect is huge too.
Think about it this way: I join a group. All right, I'm new to this group, but it's been around 3 years. I get into this group and I just want to know, like, hey, what's the purpose of this product? You know what I mean? Or what's the mission of this company? You would have to scroll all the way to the bottom, which would probably be never ending on a Facebook group or some other platform.
Facebook group, or like some, let's say,
or if it's not pinned at the top, or maybe like recent news. In Discord, you have a folder for recent news or our mission. You click in there and it's right there for you to see.
It's actually very overwhelming in the beginning, and the reason I brought it up is because I see the potential, and if what I see, what's forthcoming, it's crazy, because also why people are rushing to build up that channel is because marketing is becoming so hard on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Discord allows you to get more information through a lot of these bots that are being set up.
And what does it do though? And why is it very beneficial? And why are we predicting that? It builds a community. Because
which is huge.
If you need people, and if people get behind the brand and they become part of a community, and I've seen it in crypto, they communicate with each other, they become friends. It's a place for all of them to discuss a like interest. That community grows and grows and grows and grows, and then they are your marketers.
You basically have a 24/7 community. Yep. It's not just like having a podcast and then you just submit, distribute, and it's there. This is a 24/7 community. You go on your phone, you can chat with anyone you want as the host. You can have other people connect. Yep. It's great. So
it's awesome.
Check it out, or at least build a Facebook group, or just put a thank you note.
That's it. Number 3. Number 4? Number 4. Wow, I was off on my numbers. Sean's on point tonight. Number 4, add a referral section with a discount. So this is something that they do. I've seen it before, but I want to highlight it. I think it's always a good idea. So they have if you go all the way down to the bottom of their site, they can say refer a friend, and they have this pop-up that comes up. If you're seeing YouTube, you can see it here, but for those of you on just listening, it says basically get $15 for every friend you refer. So basically you put in your email address and you say what's your name, and then it basically creates a link that you can post on IG or post anywhere for people to go like purchase, or you put a friend's email in and it sends the email with like a customized text message saying how much you loved it and things like that. And then when your friend receives it, basically they get 5 free travel pouches whenever they make their first purchase. So this is just a good way just to generate more sales for people to earn. People will earn $15 off their next order if any of their friends make a purchase. Yep. So it's just a multi-beneficial, but it's a great way all businesses of the past. I remember when I was in sales I used to do financial advising. It was always the biggest thing was referrals. You need 5 referrals for every sale.
Especially when you're driving traffic to your website, right? You have your especially if it's paid traffic,
free.
right? No, but it's paid. You have someone on your website that came from a campaign,
and
they see this refer a friend and they could earn some money. That's giving an incentive to people to refer to more people. So you want to basically get, if you paid for 1,000 visitors, right? You're paid for a campaign that's, let's say you're spending $500 a day, and I don't know, let's say it's 10,000, whatever, how much traffic you got there. You want to double that or triple that by getting those people to refer to more people.
This is free, guys. I mean, maybe it costs $49.99 for the software or something like that, but this is free. That Facebook ads, you're probably not going to get a one-to-one return. Like, we are here to give you tips and strategies for basically to create marketing opportunities, use software to not spend a lot of money, but be able to drive revenue.
So I've seen a lot of brands. I mean, I've actually implemented a refer and earn program. I'll be honest, Matt, I hate the software I'm using.
Find better software.
It's exactly. So let me explain though, because there's tons of these referral programs. Freshly had a really good one as well. It's a podcast we spoke about very early on. I really like this layout, and I like the fact that they have a platform where if you're referring friends, you can actually see how many points you have. Now, I'll give you
create that through a dashboard.
They're using this thing. I pulled it up on my laptop. It's called Friend Buy. I wanted to check out the pricing. Pricing it's a little steep. I mean, it's affordable. So it's $249 a month for a starter, and it's like they have Dualex and so forth. So that's the referral program they're using. I may actually even look into it, or maybe even just test it out.
All these programs, like a lot of the softwares that we do recommend are expensive, like loyalty programs. Loyalty programs are actually very expensive. When you actually break down and like all the, not just the upfront charges, but then like hey, if you want to do this, like it's expensive.
But I'm going to tell you this, it's actually worth it to pick the right one in the beginning, because now I got to go change all my email campaigns, my website layout, everything, just so it goes back to, it gets connected to, if I change to a new platform like FriendBuy, I got to change it to that. So it's going to take a lot of my time to do that. So getting the right one is very important. I really do like this one. Possibly even transition it or just do your research. But Referral Candy, you suck.
Okay, number 5.
Use UGC in paid campaigns. Athletic Greens, a lot of their ads are user-generated content. So
I was going to ask, what's UCG?
Yeah, it's user-generated content, and the majority of the times they're content creators. In the beginning of the episode, I mentioned that the first time I saw Athletic Greens on my feed, I saw Natalie Duran, aka Ninja Natalie, a good friend of mine, pop on my feed, and I'm like, whoa. I sent it to her. It caught my attention, but not only caught my attention because I know her, but it was great content. It was in my face type of thing, and it got right to the point, right about the nutrients and so forth. So apparently, user-generated content, we talk about this all the time, performs a lot better than just like a really adding a whole production, a script behind it and so forth. So try to leverage content creators or just your customers to create content for you, so you could use that instead of spending big bucks on a huge production.
Absolutely.
That's
awesome. Number 6, create partnerships to sell your products. And this is something that Athletic Greens does a really good job of. Listen to these partnerships they've created, and we've talked about this before. 2018, they were the official partner of Spartan races. How many Spartan races were there around the world in 2018? A lot. I would say over 10 to 20,000 at least. 2020, they were the sponsor for the U.S. Olympic cycling team. It's pretty impressive, right? And then this year, they recently announced a partnership with Workout, which is a virtual training platform, which is probably a great play. That was during COVID. So those are the kind of partnerships, though. It makes sense. We know this is a nutritional powder. Like, these are people that care about their health. They care about living healthy on the outside, also inside. So these partnerships are just a great way that aligns their brand and strengthens their brand to the customers or potential customers that are going to see them. So this is something that I need to do a better job in all my businesses about. I bet you Sean could say the same thing, but these are different opportunities that you see these strategies and your mind should just start ticking and thinking about, who can I partner with? Wow, this is a perfect fit for me. Let me contact them and see if we can work something out. That's how these things started. you do it once and then it just steamroll. You become more successful. You then make a partnership with a bigger brand. So I just think it's like, if you just hear that one point and your mind starts, if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, your mind's just going to now move when you hear this. So
yeah, it just does. I mean, we've seen it with Warby Parker, where, I mean, it could be partnerships like that, like hosting events, or it could be licensing deals. It's some sort of
X
partnership.
lines, we see all kind of like partnerships with X Supreme, X whatever.
So, I mean, you could either spend, a few hours, dedicating, at least going on an Excel sheet, seeing what brands align with you, or not even just brands, events that align with you that you could sponsor, host. Maybe you could just be a free, like giving your product out. A lot of these places, you have to pay money to be sponsored.
If you have a big reach of people, though, or if you have a huge network of like individuals, like if you've been in an online business for a couple of years and you do a couple 100,000, a couple million in revenue, you probably have a user base of maybe an email contact list of maybe 100, 200,000, right? If you say that and you proposition the correct way, hey, this is my customer, we think like, this is my customer base. I see that you have a similar customer base. I was thinking that we can create some kind of partnership that will be mutually beneficial. I have about 100 to 200,000 followers and data points. Would this be something that you are interested in? I think it would be very successful, and I love your product and I love your brand.
Here's something
be authentic about it.
Yep, be authentic, and it's something I actually picked up. Try to look for people or brands or events that done this before. Like, if they've done it before, they're very open to it. If they haven't done it before, skip on that, because there's a lot of people that have done this, like, and you could work with them. And again, like, just like Matt said, find a way that, how are you going to bring in value so they understand that? Because if you can't bring in value, then you can try to bring in the dollars. So that's it.
Exactly.
Like,
that's why I said customer base. If you can bring their target customer, like, to them, then they'll see a monetary gain, or they'll see an opportunity there for both of you.
And I think the best organization is just go on an Excel sheet, or however you want to do it. It's just like list them out. And then when you can, or just have the sheet there. So whenever you're thinking, when you see one, you put it there. And then when you get to it, you could just tackle them. Like, all right, this is how I'm going to do it.
Instagram message, whatever you need to do. Just get it done.
All right. That's it, right?
That's all we got, guys.
Guys, I hope you like this episode. If you're watching, or if you're listening to this on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, please give us a 5-star review, 5-star rating. If you know someone that this will help, if they're building a business, if they're an entrepreneur, or if they're thinking about building a business, send them this podcast. And if you're watching us on YouTube, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for more weekly videos. Oh, all right, guys. And hold on, man. If you want to tweet, if you have questions, come on, Matt.
Yeah, we don't even use tweet. We have to create an Instagram account or something.
For a deep dive?
Yeah.
No, they could use their personal.
Maybe a Discord we'll create.
Yeah, that's potential.
See?
Yep, we could. All right, maybe something we'll talk about offline. All right, guys. See you next week. Bye.